Let's be honest. When you hear the words dietary fiber, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Probably something about, staying regular, right? But what if I told you that's just the opening act? Today, we are diving deep into the hidden power of fiber. And trust me, it's a story about feeling fuller, managing your weight, and feeding trillions of tiny helpers you might not even know you have. So let's get into it.
Okay, let's start with a number. 15. 15 grams per day. That's how much fiber the average person in the US is getting. Just keep that number in your head for a second.
Because, well, the recommended amount is almost double that. We're talking 25 to 30 grams a day. That's a pretty huge gap, right? So the big question is, does it actually matter? And the science is screaming, oh yeah, it absolutely does.
So, to back up for a second, what is this stuff? Simply put, dietary fiber is the tough, structural part of plants, the stuff our own bodies can't break down with our enzymes. It's essentially indigestible, at least to us.
Which kind of begs the question, right? If we can't even digest it, what's the point of eating it? Well, to figure that out, we have to follow a single piece of fiber on its incredible journey all the way through our body.
So, the first part of this journey is all physical. The effects of fiber start happening the second you take a bite, long before it meets the real stars of the show down in your gut.
As that fiber travels through your upper GI tract, from your mouth, down your stomach, into your small intestine, it's basically acting like a physical traffic controller for all the food you're eating.
And this whole process starts right in your mouth. High-fiber foods, they just make you chew more, which naturally slows you down. Then, in your stomach, fiber starts soaking up water. It forms this kind of gel that physically makes you feel full and puts the brakes on digestion. And then, in the small intestine, it keeps that slowdown effect going, which helps blunt those big spikes in blood sugar and insulin you can get from other foods. All of this is sending these powerful, hey, I'm full, signals straight to your brain.
But you know what? All of that's just the warm-up act. The main event, where the real magic happens, is when this undigested fiber finally arrives in your large intestine.
Because that's where it finally meets your gut microbiome. We're talking trillions of bacteria that are basically a hidden chemical factory just waiting for the right raw materials to show up. And it turns out the fiber we can't digest is the perfect food for them. As this research puts it so well, our gut microbes are perfectly built to use these fibers as their #1 source of energy.
So, let's meet a few of these key players. Now, you don't need to memorize these names, just focus on what they do. See, bacteria like these aren't just passively eating the fiber, they're actively fermenting it. They're like little alchemists, transforming it into brand new compounds that have these huge effects on our health.
In this transformation process, this is where the story gets really, really cool. Because what these bacteria are making from that fiber isn't waste. For our bodies, it's pure gold.
They produce these amazing little molecules called short-chain fatty acids, or SCFAs for short. The big three you'll hear about are acetate, propionate, and butyrate, and you can think of these as the language your gut bacteria use to talk to the rest of your body.
So what are they saying? Incredible things. Butyrate, for instance, is the main fuel for the cells lining your colon. It keeps your gut barrier strong and tamps down inflammation. Propionate, it travels to your liver and helps regulate blood sugar. And acetate, it acts as an energy source and even helps other beneficial bacteria grow.
So this isn't just some local conversation happening down in your gut. No way. Through these tiny little SCFAs, your microbiome is sending signals that influence your immune system, your metabolism, and yeah, even your brain.
So, how does all of this microscopic action add up to a very real-world goal for a lot of people, which is managing weight?
Well, the data is pretty stunning. One major review found that just adding 14 grams of fiber per day, which is basically closing that gap we saw at the beginning, was linked to a spontaneous 10% drop in total calorie intake. People just naturally felt fuller and ate less, without even trying to.
And what's really interesting is that this effect seems to be strongest in the people who need it most. That same review found that over several months, folks with obesity lost an average of 2.4 kilograms on high-fiber diets. Compare that to just 0.8 kilograms for lean individuals.
So let's just put this all together side by side. It's a powerful 1-2 punch. With a high-fiber diet on the right, you get more satiety from those physical effects we talked about, and you get the amazing anti-inflammatory, metabolism-regulating benefits from the SCFAs. It's a total win-win that low-fiber diets just can't compete with. Okay, so we've covered the why. We know fiber is incredibly important. So let's switch gears and talk about the how. How can you actually get more of this stuff into your daily life?
Well, the really good news is you don't need to run out and buy fancy supplements. The answer is in real, delicious whole foods.
Seriously, just look at these numbers. 1 cup of split peas or lentils. That gets you more than halfway to your daily goal, right there. A single cup of raspberries has 8 grams. An ounce of chia seeds packs a 10-gram punch. Even a simple swap, like white pasta for whole wheat, gives you an easy boost.
And look, remember, the goal here isn't to be perfect overnight. It's all about progress. Just think about adding one of these foods to your day. Maybe it's some raspberries on your morning yogurt or a side of black beans with dinner. That one small change is what kicks off that whole cascade of benefits we've been talking about.
So, I'll leave you with this one thought. The next time you sit down for a meal, just ask yourself, are you eating for one, or are you eating for the trillions of tiny helpers in your gut who are just waiting to turn that meal into powerful medicine for your entire body? Thanks so much for joining me.